Well, here we are. We got some flat colors laid down, and here, let's turn the sketch off. Okay. Yeah, I mean it's pretty rough, but I'm starting to get an idea. So at this point I'm like, what do I like? What do I don't like? I don't like a lot of it. I don't like this like really bright blue. It looks kind of, I don't know. It looks like they're zombies or they're dead or they have no blood. It's kind of strange. So I'm not loving that color there. And I'm also noticing that I'm going to need to expand these colors a little bit. Like I need more than one gray to work with. I'm using too much red. I think. Oh, and I forgot one of the most important things. Background. We have no background color right now. It's just white. And I like to do something more than that. So let's go back to our background layer here. And I'm going to drag this right here. And you know what? I'm going to make it yellow because for some reason that's the one color I didn't I didn't use at all. And I'm going to send it to the back. And yeah, you know what? I don't mind that as a background color. I'm cool with that. I think it's, you know, so I'm going for something that's outdoorsy, warm, nature friendly kind of thing. And yeah, the yellow is working. And I'm not using it anywhere else. So, you know, I'm going to take this opportunity to show you why I wanted you to use swatches over here and why that's so important. So if the yellow is going to serve as our background, I want to just fine tune it a little bit. I like it, but I want to play with the brightness and the saturation just a touch. So you might be tempted to select the background and then double click over here and start moving things around, you know? And first of all, you don't get a preview if you're an illustrator, which is dumb, but hey. And also, let's say you do change it, cool, but your swatch doesn't update, so then you have to re-add the swatch, which, I don't know, that doesn't seem smart. However, what you can do is you don't even have to select this image. You can just double click on the swatch and it opens up your saved swatch. And you can see that right here where it says global, there's a check mark next to it. And what that means is that anywhere the swatch color is used, anywhere in the document, whatever change we make here and hit OK, it'll update that swatch and then everything else. Now, maybe we should use a different color just for demonstration purposes. But okay, yeah, let's say this like light blue, right? Let's say I wanted to change that. And it's in like several groups in his hands and his face and the dog and stuff. But if I just go in here and then I click preview and then I make adjustments like so, you can see that color adjust everywhere, no matter where it's used. And that is the beauty of global color. Pretty cool if you ask me. But here I'm going to cancel. We're not here to talk about blue just yet. Let's get this yellow in a place where we feel good. So overall, I like how this dark green looks. That's good. I like this dark blue. I like the red a little bit and the brown. The lighter green is not my favorite. It's a bit too yellow, and this blue is clearly a problem with kind of tonally where we want to be. So let's start with the background. I think that's a good place to begin, and let's get that in a place where we feel good. And get used to making these adjustments because that's what working with color is like. You got to start somewhere. You just block it out. And even if you do it and you're like, wow, gross, that just means you have more work to do. That just means, you know, you have to get in there and adjust some things. So it's bright. It's really bright. So we really just have saturation to play with. And I guess we can swing the hue a little bit too. But let's put the saturation and see what happens. Oh, I got to hit preview. Bloop. Okay. So if I move the saturation up, it gets really kind of nice and mustardy, and you know, I'm cool with that. I kind of like that actually. Or if we go much lower, then it gets a little more like tan and neutral, which might come in handy, you know? Yeah, I'm all right with that. So I think initially we were somewhere around here. Maybe we go like kind of warm neutral. So I'm going to dial the saturation down to around like 36, somewhere around there. That feels good. So I like this as a background. It's nice and kind of neutral, but it has a little bit of warmth, which kind of works with some of our other colors. Now, when we have this background layer in here, we're going to go to grab something and be like, oh, and then start moving the background around. So what I'm going to do is hit Command 2 and lock that. You can also do that by going up here to the layers and scrolling all the way down to where your background is. And then you see there's a little lock next to it. You just do that. So that way, when you're working, you don't accidentally grab it and move it around. Okay, so let's start making some other adjustments initially to some of the colors we're working with, and maybe rearrange some of the things. So the dark green, I'm liking how that looks. I'm okay with that. This yellow green just feels a bit too yellow. So let's adjust that. So I'm gonna double click the swatch, make sure to hit preview, and I'm looking at HSB, which is exactly what I want. Hue, saturation, brightness. And I'm going to move it a little closer to green, and which means to the right over here. And let's see what happens. Okay. Yeah, that starts to feel a little better. I feel like it's really saturated and really bright. So I'm going to lower the saturation a little bit, and maybe even the brightness a touch. Okay. I know that dulls it a little bit, but with the other green, I don't know, it feels better. It's not as like kind of bright and neon looking. It feels a little more like an earth tone, which is exactly what I'm going for. So I'm gonna leave that for now. Okay. I like the brown, looks good against the background here. It's kind of a tough read on the tree. So we could try doing a couple things. We could try starting by just taking this tree and making it the dark green instead, which that works, you know. That may affect our little buddy here, but we'll see how that goes. Okay. And then down here, this brown is kind of overlapping. So I'm also looking for, is there clarity in these shapes, right? Like the way their shoe blends into this kind of thing back here, that's not a good read. And the way this like foliage blends into the tree trunk, I don't like that either. So I need to play around with some things. And I think to do that, we really do need to expand the palette a little bit, even if it's only to have some brighter and darker versions of these colors. So let's start by doing that. I know I need another gray to work with. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to drag this down there. Okay. And okay, because I want to change this color, I'm not going to go over here because I want to keep my original. But let's go over here then. And it sucks we have no preview, but I'm just going to start by going here to the brightness. And right now it's at 93. Let's just drop it down to like, here, we'll drop it down to 73. So it's just a little darker. Cool. That's our gray for now. What else do we want? Maybe we want like a lighter brown to work with here too. That might be kind of nice. So I'm going to take the brown, move it up here, and do the same thing. So I'm going to go over here to the left and just, let's see, I'm going to brighten it and desaturate it. So I want to go like up and to the left over here to make it just a bit brighter. Yeah, so somewhere around there. So it's just kind of like a lighter shade, right? Okay. I don't know how that'll look against the background. We'll see. And okay. Well, I mean, let's just start by adding those two and see where that gets us. So we want this gray color here. I'm going to select this. I'm going to hit new swatch, make sure it's global, and then hit OK. All right, and then we're going to have to drag it back into the group here, but that's all right. And then I'm going to do the same for this one. New swatch, global, OK. And then we'll drag it over here and we'll put it next to its cousin color. Okay, and then I'm just going to regroup these things. There we go. That's better. Okay, so yeah, let's start just by like changing a few things. And here I'm going to turn off the sketch layer. So let's, yeah, darker rock there. Okay, that's cool. That already is like adding some depth. You know, just to change it up a little bit. I'll do this guy too. Okay. And then I don't love that these red things are back here. They're totally blending. So let's make them this lighter version. See what happens. Oh, okay. Yeah, interesting. Oh, you know what I should do, because these are flowing together. Maybe I make this the lighter one and these the darker. Okay, then we lose this one here. So it's just a balancing game, right? Moving things around, always moving things around. Okay, well that feels a little better. I really hate this blue. It's just not working for me at all. So, you know what might help is maybe we focus on the background on these kind of, you know, these elements first. So, you know, let's hide our characters for now. We'll go find them in here. I should have memorized the shortcut for that, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. There we go. So we'll just hide this and this. Yes. So now we can kind of focus on what's going on back here. All right. I mean, things are actually a bit clearer without, you know, like sometimes too much color just doesn't work well. All right. So I don't know. I don't love what's happening back here. It looks kind of dry. So what should we do? Well, let's just move some colors around and see what happens. You know, we can also use our background color as kind of like a knockout for something. So here, I'm just gonna start moving things around, getting weird, changing it up. I like this better bright. You know what? I'm gonna move this down because I don't like that little thing. I'm gonna do the same with this. I may regret that later because the characters, but let's see how it goes. Okay. You know, I think these being brown back here just isn't working for me at all. But the problem is we only have so many greens to work with. So we have these two. You know what? Let's add some more greens. So here, we're gonna take this one and we'll make a lighter version. And we'll take this one and make a darker version. And hopefully they don't end up looking like each other. Okay, so here we'll go here and then we'll just go up and left a little bit. Okay, so the darker it is, you can make it a bit more saturated and it's okay. But if you make it really light and too saturated, then you end up in like Neon Town up here, which is, it just looks unnatural. And I mean, unless you're really going for that specific look, I don't know. It's tough to work with colors that are that bright and saturated. Do these look too much alike? No, they're different enough. Okay. And let's make a darker version of this. So I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to go like saturate it a little more and then drop it down just a little. Okay. Those are pretty much the same. So you know what? Let's get rid of this one. We can just use this one for now. And I think that'll be okay. All right. And then let's add that to our swatch. Make sure it's global. And we'll put them down here. So we have this nice kind of like in between green now, right here. And you know, we'll probably need to adjust it, but that's okay. All right, let's try that. Okay, yeah. So there's enough of a difference there and there, you know. Here, let's do. I'm not sure I love this as the dark tree anymore. Maybe we try this other green. No. Okay, maybe dark green it is. Or you know what? We could try a lighter version of this brown. Let's see what happens there. So if we make that light and then we do this lighter green here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Wrong thing. Put it over here. Go to the fill. Okay. So that, you know what? I don't mind this at all. So let's grab these other ones. And here, deselect you. Yes, that's what I want. And then we're going to go to the stroke, make the stroke that slightly lighter version. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. All right, so looking better. I think basically what we're discovering is that the background should be mostly types of green with little touches of brown where it makes sense. But when we have these really large areas of brown or a leaf, it starts to look kind of, I don't know, too brown, you know, like the plants are dying or something, and I don't love it. So let's just keep working. Let's try to get rid of the brown for now, and then we'll figure out what to do later. So I'm just kind of rearranging some of these colors here, since we have 3 greens to work with, and we can always adjust later. It's no big deal. Here, I want to, maybe that can be the lightest green. Yeah. So it's like musical chairs. You're just kind of moving all these things around, and that's okay. Oh, I got this guy. Maybe the dark one. Let's try that. Yeah, okay. I'm all right with that. What else? These are kind of blending together. Maybe this one should be the light one. Yes. Maybe this is the middle green. Yes. Maybe this is a darker green. Yeah, that makes sense because these are both kind of the same leaf back here. And what else? So I still don't love this right here. There's something kind of strange, but you know, what if we try this as the middle one, and then we do these two as dark? Yeah, that looks better. I like that more. Okay. So I'm going through and I'm looking at, for all the plants and the greens, I'm starting over again. I'm like, okay, is there enough contrast? And can I make out the shapes of everything for the most part? You know, some things blend a little bit, but maybe that's okay for now. But mostly I'm just like trying to find this balance of color. And right now it looks pretty good. Since this rock is so light, I might make this green just a touch darker. Yeah, there's a little more contrast there, right? And then I'll change up one of these two to the middle one. Yeah, that's better. And then maybe this one too. You know, just so there's a nice variety. I don't know. I like variety. That's just me. Something like that. Okay. So I think we're looking better here overall. Yeah. There's much more contrast. Not hardly any brown. In fact, just this kind of like tree trunk now. But that's okay. We have a lot of little like details and stuff that we can add later where maybe that brown will come in handy. Or like I said, you know, there's no rule that says, hey, you have to use all of these colors that we pulled. We may find ourselves only using a handful. And that's fine. So what else? Do I want to do anything else? What about this? Is this too? Yeah, there we go. Maybe a little darker there. And we'll give this the same treatment. Those are kind of blending, but I'll leave it for now. That's okay. Yeah, okay. So that's a lot easier to read. How do we feel about this rock? I know I keep changing it. Oh, wrong thing. Yeah, so this green and this gray, they're a little too close together. So I think the rock looks better lighter that way. And you know what? Maybe we adjust the middle green the new one we created just a little bit and see what happens. Maybe it's fine, but let's try something. Okay, so we'll open up the swatch, hit preview, and then I'm just gonna mess with the brightness, and I'm gonna like bring it up a little and it gets too close to its friend, right? So if we go down a little is good, I think, because I'm looking for like enough separation between this green and the light one and this green and the dark one. Dark one's pretty good. The light one, this looks better. So if we like, you know, before and after it, it's just a tiny bit darker, but I think it works better. There's just a bit more contrast there. Okay. So yeah, looking much better here. Let's turn our characters back on. Oh boy. Okay. They need some work, but hey, the background looks all right.